welcome to Go Out Living. I'm Jonathan Brandt. Today we have a special guest that I'm really excited to have on. We have Dr. Fred Moss. I don't even know where to start. 300 plus podcast appearances, 300 guests, over 30,000 patients, psychiatrist. You've done it all. And I like the aspect that you look at things from a common sense point of view. And I think that's what I really wanted to kind of look at today. I don't know how much you know of my story of my wife passing a month ago, but one of the big things that we had always talked about, one, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What I was hoping to get today was kind of look at not only the grieving aspect, but I wanted to actually go into diagnosis. How How do we deal with being diagnosed with something like cancer or heart disease or something like that? And, as an individual, as a society, how are we dealing with that kind of news?
Okay, well, yeah, thank you for having me on, and thank you for, starting us off with such an easy question. And so, we really get to launch into something here about this whole notion of what a diagnosis is. We think we think we're not like we think we don't have a terminal condition.
Right?
We do.
Right. That's true.
Every single one of us.
It's very true.
So there's no such thing as a terminal condition that's different than the one that we have.
Right.
We all have a terminal condition, but when we hear something like, okay, now you have a terminal condition, that steps up our attention. Same thing with mental health, by the way. When you hear you have bipolar disorder or ADHD, or someone gives you some sort of, dare I say, random psychiatric diagnosis, you now build yourself around that diagnosis. Like if I tell I have the story that if someone comes to my office and they say, you know what, Dr. Fred, I hear you're an expert. I have some conditions. I have some symptoms I want to share with you and see if you can tell me what's going on. And they tell me that they have, gray mottled skin, and they have a big nose, and they drink too much water, and they eat too many peanuts, and they're a mess in a china shop.
Right.
And I take out my book and I look and I look and I look and I say, I got it. What you got? And you're like, what's wrong with me? And I said, well, you're an elephant. When you walk out of my office, you're now reassured that you're an elephant. The book says so, and so did the doctor.
Right.
And what's interesting about that is it does color your view of the world as soon as I call you something. So when you leave my office, you know what? You're looking for circuses and chains, because that's what an elephant looks for. I didn't really change anything in your life.
Right.
You're the same person you were when you came in and you didn't know you were an elephant. But by declaring you as an elephant, I switched the whole context of your life. And now you're like, where are the circuses? Where are the chains? And then you go home and you're like, your brother's like, what's going on? You got a big smile on your face. You're like, I just figured out what was wrong with me. He's like, what is wrong with you? And he's like, well, I went to the specialist and the specialist told me I was an elephant. So I guess I'm an elephant. And your brother says, no, you're not. And then you feel sorry for your brother, because he obviously doesn't understand.
Right.
And then you feel really sorry for your brother because you heard that being an elephant is a genetic condition. And he's going to have it too, and he doesn't even know. We build our lives around these faulty notions that getting a diagnosis changes anything. Every single one of us has a terminal condition. That condition is called life. It's coming to an end.
Right.
It is. It's coming to an abrupt end someday. But we take diagnosis like they're serious. We take diagnosis like they change something. Someone tells you you have something, and now all of a sudden you take on an entirely different context of how you look at the world based on the idea that some doctor or some specialist or someone who's in a position to perpetuate conditions told you that you have something. It kind of doesn't matter what he told you, by the way. It only matters what you believe. Yeah, it doesn't matter what anyone tells you. It only matters what you believe. Because if out of the blue I tell you you're a grasshopper, you're going to be like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. And you won't worry about it. But if I do a full analysis and I say you're a grasshopper, now you're worried about it.
Right.
When you start seeing that it's all smoke and mirrors. Now, I want to say something that's really important. You have had a very real major loss in your life in the last month. It's very, very, very real. Extremely real. And under no conditions am I diminishing any conditions or any diagnoses that your wife had or that you might have or that anyone you know and love might have. I'm not diminishing the impact. I'm suggesting that a diagnosis, once it is absorbed, changes the way we look at the world, not because the world changed. The world did not change. Your ideas of the world have changed because someone dropped the C word on you.
Right.
But in reality, nothing changed. You're still the same dude you were before you got the C word entered into your life. When we can unlatch ourselves from a reality of a diagnosis making things worse, we get to live in freedom. Our biggest fear as humans, the number one fear we have, and you could even make a case for every single fear that we have about anything, is somehow related to our fear of death. If you look at any fear and continue to drill down, you'll see that somewhere along the line, you're afraid of death. Now, that's pretty unfortunate too. Isn't it weird that the thing that we're most afraid of in this world is the only thing that we're assured about?
Right. Yep.
That's a pretty wild, unfortunate combination. The only thing that we have in life that we can be sure of is that we're going to die. That's it. And yet, that one thing is the source of all of our fears.
It's so true.
It's absurd.
It is. And I look
And
at it.
each of us understand it. So I get it. Again, I hope that I didn't trample in any way on your own emotions of the last month and all the things you've gone through. It's just a matter of, it's all words. And then it's all the meanings we add to the words.
No, I actually agree. So we dealt with it for 5 years. And I don't know if we ever had a moment that we truly said, "Hey, we're done," kind of thing. I mean, she was kind of there at the end, but as far as we didn't look at it that way. We just kept on moving and we kept on doing our thing with the family and the kids and whatever. And yeah, there is I think a fear of what happens to the kids more than anything, but I we didn't really have those discussions of, "Oh, hey, what happens tomorrow?" kind of thing. We knew it was coming, but with both of us, yeah, we knew there was a 50-50 chance somebody wasn't going to make it for 5 years, kind of thing. But, I'm kind of glad you said it, because the reality of it, of a diagnosis like that, is you're just learning it. You already had it, like you said. So how do you, okay, get diagnosed?
It
How do you
doesn't
just,
make anything more real.
right? How can you, I guess my big thing, like for us, it motivated us. Is that a healthy response, do you think?
Well, Eddie, I suppose so. Again, if no one would have checked you, you would have never even had the condition.
I
You're
had a
still
lot
the
of
same
symptoms, so
person. But I'm just saying, there
right.
maybe those aren't symptoms. In other words, as soon as you get support that you have a condition, you think your life changed. But you can see it's just words we all have. It was never clear which of the two of you was going to go first. It's never going to be clear. You don't even know you're making it through today. You have no idea you're making it through today. Neither do I, neither does anybody. But we walk around thinking that we are at least going to make it through today. You don't know that at all. And it's just a matter of the meanings we add to the words. And when we get the big C diagnosis, it just shocks us. We're like, oh, we're different now. I just saw it on a CAT scan. I just saw it in an MRI. I just saw a specialist. I just started my chemo. I just started my radiation. I just had my ectomy of some sort. And therefore, I'm sicker than I was. Maybe you're never sicker than you were. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're just you living this human condition with flaws and concerns and resentments and regrets and memories and wishes and desires and dreams and awkwardness and, pain and suffering and sadness and fear and anger. Hello? That's called humanity. That's all it's called. That's the smorgasbord of humanity. But we've been taught by the system that when someone drops an alphabet soup of a diagnosis on our lap, it's supposed to change the way we live. Why?
We overthink it then, basically.
Well, we make shit up.
Right. Yeah.
It's not a matter of overthinking. It's a matter of just making shit up out of blue.
Right. So how do we keep it normal? How do we just not let it affect us?
I didn't say that you should not let it affect you. I think that that's not the goal. The goal is to have the things affect you that affect you, and the things that don't affect you not affect you. That's the goal, and just be aligned with it. Once we start, there's a whole Moss method. There's a list of 20 things that I've compiled. I didn't create any of them. But they're time-tested and proven exercises and practices that give us the capacity to separate ourselves out from the experiences we're having in the world. So I am not my experiences. I am not my feelings. I am not my sensations. I am not my thoughts. I have thoughts, I have feelings, I have sensations, but I don't have to become them. I don't have to collapse myself into the calamity of my thoughts or the concerns I have for the future. I can have those things without collapsing my whole self into them. The best way I know how to do that is this combination of these exercises and practices, like gratitude, like nature, like meditation, like nutrition, like hydration, like writing, like reading, like creativity, like sleep hygiene, like being of service. like having spirituality, like actually taking care of your pets, like actually giving yourself some pampering. You can do that every day, with or without a diagnosis, every single day. No one gives a shit whether you have a diagnosis. You can do those things all day long. You do have a diagnosis, by the way. It's called human. You have that diagnosis, assuming you're a human, which these days I have to double put a little asterisk on that, assuming you're not like some sort of non-human character, maybe a bot or a plebeian or a who knows.
Well, and that's reality, isn't it? It just, yeah, it's that simple.
That's just that simple. And when we can separate ourselves out and get that we only have one condition, we really only have one.
So basically, I mean, do you believe as a society we have for some reason allowed feelings to kind of take over every part of it? I mean, we're the emotional, the feelings, the okay, we're going to just outwardly let it all go because it's so you're supposed to feel like this. You're supposed to be emotional. You're supposed to, you know, let this affect you in every single way. Is that a society thing?
I believe it's not it's not unique to this society. It's been going on since the beginning of time. So, if you look back in Marcus Aurelius, or you look at Socrates, or you look at, even Sartre, if you go back to Descartes, if you go back to some of the philosophers, Buddha, Jesus, etc., you're going to see that they were struggling with very similar concepts in their own human nature, them and their societies around that time. So we like to absorb ourselves in our feelings and our thoughts. We think our thoughts are real. That's what's really fun. We actually think our thoughts represent reality. No, they don't. They're just thoughts. Reality is far more than our thoughts. So it's kind of convenient to let our feelings, smother or blanket our experience in life. It's kind of convenient. It's sort of like a default. But what if we could get we're not our feelings? That's just another thing we have. It's part of the smorgasbord table of being a human is we have feelings. But we're not our feelings, we're not our thoughts, we're not our experiences, we're not our sensations, and we're not our worries, we're not our regrets, we're not our desires, we're not our resentments. We're not any of that. We just have those things. If you've ever been maybe to a Brazilian steakhouse and you've seen their their smorgasbord, like they have this salad bar at this Brazilian steakhouse. It's like an acre. It's like an acre of salad, so many different things. That's really what, represented by being a human is we have lots of experiences from the unpleasant to the pleasant. And we latch on to the unpleasant ones. We get very excited about being unpleasant. And we color our whole world with the unpleasant experiences. Just what we do.
True. It's so true. It's so true. You go through life just feeling horrible.
That's right. We go through life feeling horrible, and that's our choice.
Right. I've always been accused of not being very emotional or having feelings, so it's nice to actually hear this.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm more normal than others, but
yeah, maybe you've never been anything but normal.
I hope so, because it would explain a lot.
We don't have a definition of normal.
Right. True.
So how would you even know?
Yeah, it's so true.
And what kind of audacity does it take to declare that we know what abnormal is if we don't even know what normal is?
Yep. So true. Because we're all individuals. It's all different. Yeah.
It's all the same. It's all
Right.
exactly the same.
Yep.
We do have
So
one condition. We do. We do have one condition. It's called life.
there you go. Yep. Okay. So let's move on from that. The next question I have, mental health in America alone. I think we kind of hit on some of that. We allow emotions, the feelings, the thoughts to control so many things. It feels like it is set up almost like failure from the beginning because everything, like I went through therapy a couple times and it's been a while, but it seemed very, can I say panned? It was very, this is step by step by step. And I sat there going, that's not life. I never felt like there was any connection with that person because it was just like they're reading a book. And I feel like that's how mental health has gone. Like we all have to read that book. So, what do you tell your patients that come in, like you said, kind of expecting fix me kind of thing?
No, 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 no. They're not expecting fix me.
No.
No, they're only expecting tell me what's wrong with me.
Okay.
There is nobody who's actually expecting fix me.
They don't even expect it.
No, not at all. Just tell me what's wrong with me. And then give me something that will marginally work, but it won't work well. And everyone no one's expecting to have their mental health condition fixed. No one.
Because I don't want it.
Because it's not possible. People don't think it's possible.
Right.
Even psychiatry doesn't pretend to fix people.
Right.
Maybe contain it, maybe slow it down, but either way, you're going to have to keep coming to see me every single week or every single month forever.
Right.
Because we're not going to cure you.
Okay, with saying that, then as a society, how do we get to is there a better place? Is there a healthier place that we can be mentally?
Yeah, you don't have a mental health condition.
But there's just
you just don't have a condition.
Right. And it's just an individual
experience. Life experience. That's it.
Yeah. And there's no changing that.
Why? What kind of change would you want?
Well, in those that are affected, in those that allow those, like you said, the thoughts and all that to continue to run their life, is there a way to help them?
Sure. I just listed it again: meditation, gratitude, nature, creativity, service, spirituality, reading, writing, pampering, sleep hygiene, nutrition, hydration, nature. All of those things will dissolve your major connection between thinking that your experiences are real.
Gotcha.
You are having experiences. They're just not all of it. So you don't have a mental health condition.
Right.
You just don't. But if you say you do, then you do. And for sure, if someone in a white coat gave it to you and you respect people in white coats because they wear a white coat, then you could say, I'm depressed. I have ADHD. I have PTSD. I'm on the spectrum. I have narcissism. I have major depression. I'm a bipolar. I'm a schizoaffective disorder. Blah, 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 blah.
It's the word salad. It's the labels.
You have one condition. By now, you know what that condition is.
You're getting me today, which I love because it's different. It's a big relief.
It is, isn't it?
It really is. And I'm going to compare it to me, but this is how I started the podcast right before she passed. We started writing books. We started I've gotten into nutrition big time. My wife went to got her holistic practitioner just for us to mentally keep going. And everything you said feels like what we were doing. And that makes me feel better. Just to make me feel like I was doing it in a healthy way, I guess is the way I'm looking at it. And I guess that's what I want for my viewers, just to understand that, you know, don't overthink it. Do exactly what you said. Look into the nutrition side, look into education, look into all those that are going to make you a better person, make you feel better. Is it that simple?
Yeah, you get a choice of whether or not you want to feel miserable at any given moment. There's plenty of reasons. There's plenty of reasons to feel miserable. No shortage.
I agree,
You
100%.
want to be terrified? How long would it take me and you to come up with 100 reasons to be terrified? Maybe 4 minutes?
Right. Yeah.
How about 100 reasons to be really depressed? Maybe 4 minutes, right? How about 100 reasons to be really nervous? I don't know, about 4 minutes.
Right.
If we took a break, there's all the reasons out there to feel miserable. We latch on to those and then we call it support for our misery. We have X, Y, and Z happening. Did you see that? Did you feel that? Can you believe this? That's why I'm miserable, because X, Y, and Z are happening. You're actually miserable because you're miserable, not because X, Y, and Z is happening. It's because you have chosen literally to be miserable in the face of X, Y, and Z. This is called life.
So simple.
It is simple. That's what makes this so fun. It's so simple.
So in your
Yeah,
40,
yeah, but I'm miserable. Okay, you could choose to stay miserable. It's okay with me.
right. Have you seen I believe you've been doing this for about 40 years. Am I
46
right?
years.
46
46.
years.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen an change in how we handle the mental health side in the last 46 years?
Yeah, I have. Because in the last 46 years, in 1987, a drug was introduced to the world that changed the whole paradigm of how we deal with this concept of mental health. And things changed that day for sure. That day was the day that Prozac was introduced to the world. When Prozac was introduced to the world, a new excuse arose. This idea, a faulty idea, that if you felt uncomfortable, there was something wrong with you. Forgetting that feeling uncomfortable is sometimes exactly what's called for. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to be scared. It's even okay to think about why are you living. It's okay to fast thoughts. It's okay to be awkward in a crowd. It's okay to be distractible. It's okay not to finish things on time. It's okay to be angry. It's actually okay to yell at your wife. It's not recommended. It's just part of life. It's okay to be human. Everything I just named is completely okay. Jiddu Krishnamurti, he said, it is no sign of mental health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. We have now adjusted ourselves that if we're feeling uncomfortable about the way things are going, that must mean there's something wrong with us. As if we have a chemical imbalance because we don't like how things are going. We don't have a chemical imbalance. We just don't like how shit's going.
You're making the last 50 years of my life so different. Oh, I love it.
Well, you can see that I'm not over the top. In other words, this is about getting more reduced to the fact that of the stuff you already knew when you were 2 years old. You forgot this stuff. This isn't coming out of like advanced journals. This is coming out of basic humanity.
Can we
Is
say
there
common
anything I'm
sense?
saying that is even controversial so far?
No,
Have I said anything that's even close to controversial?
no. And that's, to
Not
me,
at, not at
it's common sense.
all. It's all it is.
I've always used that as, okay, my excuse is it's common sense when I talk to anybody about, usually it's feelings and all that crap. And it's like nobody follows common sense anymore. We're Whether we're too scared of it or what, I don't know. But I've always felt like I've been on a different path because I just look at things differently. Like,
Mhm.
this is black and white. It's very simple. Life
It
should
is
be
simple.
simple.
Well, I don't know about that, but I don't know that it has to be simple, but the truth is you only have one condition. No matter what you're told or what you believe, you have one condition.
And you decide the direction you want to go.
Up to you. You do get to make a choice. If you want to be miserable, there's so much support for you to be miserable.
Yeah. We can even talk about the pharmaceuticals with that one, but yeah. I, we're trying to find excuses for everything, like you said, and we just have to look at it for what it is. It's just life. That that's it.
Yeah, for better and for worse, it's just life. When you feel really confused, welcome to humanity. When
I'm
you
there.
feel really angry, welcome to humanity. When you feel totally helpless, welcome to humanity. When you feel strong and capable, welcome to humanity. When you feel connected and grounded, welcome to humanity. When you feel in touch with your higher power, welcome to humanity. When you feel alone, welcome to humanity.
I already know where else to go from that.
Not very much else to go. It's true.
No, it's been eye opening for me today. I mean, thank you.
Yeah, you're
I
welcome.
I think that's what everybody, hopefully listening to this show or any other show, needs, that right there. Just that's life, like you said. I mean, it's that, I keep saying simple, but to me it is, because it's that common sense approach that I've always kind of gone by. But yeah, stop overthinking it. you know, you can feel whatever you want to feel, but yeah, don't let it control everything.
Well, you're not going to be able to walk yourself off that ledge without doing some of the practices that we're talking about. So, meditation is specifically allows us to have experiences. Thank you for sharing. Come back to center. We allow to have experiences without becoming our experiences. So, meditation and gratitude and nature and creativity, those kind of things, nutrition and hydration, and reading and writing and spirituality and being of service, getting our sleep right, and creating authentic conversations gives us an opportunity to separate ourselves from our experiences. So we're allowed to have these experiences, and some of them are painful and some of them are freaking amazingly beautiful.
like
But
this
you're
moment
not going to
for
be
me.
able to think yourself. You're not going to be able to think yourself into not overthinking.
Gotcha. So something I want to mention, and you're what are the books exactly? So I see we have Creative 8, Healing Through Creativity and Self-Expression.
Hmm.
Is that
Yeah.
your newest one? If I
No, that's a first one I wrote, and that's
Okay.
yeah.
And then we got Welcome to Humanity on developing a revolutionary yet completely obvious approach to mental health in difficult times.
That's actually in process. That book, or the nature of that one, it is not published yet, and
Okay.
it's being created as we speak.
And that's what we're going to be looking for from you
Around the corner. Yep, that'll be
around the
a
corner.
semi autobiographical, and also speaking to what's already here. I'll speak to how I got to be who I got to be, but really, I'm just another human.
I love that.
I'm just another human. It's really
And
it.
are you still doing a lot of podcasts?
Yeah, I do a lot of podcasts. I do
Yep.
about, I don't know, 5 or 6 a week.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
Well, maybe there's nothing wrong with you, and maybe there's nothing wrong with them, and maybe there's nothing wrong with him, and maybe there's nothing wrong with me, and maybe we don't blame a log for burning in a fire, because that's what logs do in a fire. We are living in a fire. We're burning. Welcome to humanity.
I love it. I really do. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Dr. Fred Moss, the undoctor. I love that.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
absolute pleasure. It really has
Thank
been.
you.
This is what I needed today. It
Beautiful.
really was. So
Thank
if
you.
anybody gets anything out of it, it was me. And yeah, I'm going
You're
to get
welcome.
off here and take a breath and just be happy because that
It's
was,
your choice. You can be.
it's exactly what it is.
If you want to go take a breath and be miserable, you can do that too, by the way.
Yeah, but you put a smile on my face today. You really
Good.
did.
Good. Go
And
get them.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So thank you again. As we always say, find the attitude, keep the attitude, go out living. Thank you.
Thank you.